Hi and hello, football fans. It's your old pal Dave Dameshek. What's going down? I hope all's well wherever you are. Welcome to the Dave Dameshek football program, presented as always by McDonald's. All-day breakfast. Go get you some. Bring in 5 bags worth of it because you're going to be holed up all weekend long watching football.
Right.
More football coming up here. We're going to talk about who we're loving in front of these wild card playoff games. All 4 legitimately compelling, at least in my book. But then again, I love watching football. But legitimately, we're going to break those down. We're going to catch up with the game that, listen, pull back the curtain. Clearly, the game I care most about, the Pittsburgh Steelers at the Cincinnati Bengals. This won't trump my my affiliation, my friendship, I suppose I could call it, with A.J. Hawk, a member of those Cincinnati Bengals. We're going to get into it. That's 3 hours of time. You know, our love transcends time and space. So we're going to catch up with A.J. Hawk in front of this big one, and then we're going to tell you who's going to win all 4 of these playoff games. So stick around for that. Right now, let's say hello to the 2 joining us here in Studio 66, returning after a sour Shek Awards 2015.
Why was it sour?
Well,
because you invited me here.
It didn't go your way.
To take part in the Shek Awards, I received an invite. I saw I was up for an award. I assumed the reason why I was the non-football guest that was invited to the Shekkies was to accept my non-football guest of the year award, and then you humiliate me.
Can I tell you something? First of all, the voice you hear, that golden voice, so sultry.
Benson and Hedges 100s, kids. That's how you get it.
I mean,
Don't smoke.
Where might I be in this world if I had a voice like that, you know? The mind reels. Yeah. Anyway, you listen to him on the radio. I hope, if you have good taste, you know to listen to his show with Petros Papadakis, the PMS show, available in Los Angeles 570. Otherwise, iHeartRadio, find it on the app there. It's the, like I say, Petros and Money show. It's Matt Money Smith, who has a lot of guts, and I hope the football players playing this weekend can exhibit even a fraction of the guts that it took for you to show your face here in Studio
After you
66.
humiliated me
That's
in front of an international, not national, international audience, as my Twitter feed would suggest. Somebody from South Korea pointed out what a great travesty it was. So an international audience upset with your non-football guest of the year, Marcus Grant, my co-worker, my contemporary over on NFL Fantasy Live. So thanks a lot, Dave Dameshek. Thanks a lot. And they're accusing me of having no class.
Well, I mean, you can look. There's one of the tweets, one of the many tweets I've received.
There we go.
Received. There was an injustice, according to some citizens of the Czech Republic. I got to tell you, I don't want to get into a dive fully.
A little too late for that.
There might be.
A little too late now for that, right, Hank?
I think it is.
There might be an investigation into the voting procedure there, because I got to tell you.
What's an investigation? You sitting at your dining room table with a glass of bourbon swirling around.
Marcus Grant didn't even send out a tweet.
He did
to celebrate his thing.
There you go. To take a page from or to take 140 characters from Jim Harbaugh, you're sowing what you reap there, Pally. How you like it?
Yeah.
How's it taste?
And you know what happened? He didn't even bring us any wine today either. If you'd given him, we might get wine every time Money comes in here.
It's because, he had to
be my signature move.
Yeah, he's got bottled Moxie running through his veins right now. He finished the whole bottle before he got in here.
Hey, listen, this goes well today, guys. Next time I'm in, there's a box of red coming for you.
All right. Now we're talking.
Nice little spigot right there on the end we're going to pour it out from.
Now let's talk to our old pal here, seated to my immediate left, all the way from London, England. He's our resident Miami Dolphins fan, and it would appear no Sean Payton coming to save his team.
I was hoping.
Pagano.
I'm glad that's the case.
Maybe Hugh Jackson. All right, let's talk about it. It's Handsome Hank, everybody.
He's handsome, he's handsome, he's handsome.
Hello, Handsome. How are you?
I am very well indeed. Thank you, Dave. Good to have you here.
Yeah, pleasure to see you. And you went to see Star Wars last night.
I did.
How'd it go?
It was good. It was good. I enjoyed it.
How many lightsabers out of 10 do you give it?
Probably 8.5.
Really?
That's
yeah, I really enjoyed it. I actually got a little teary-eyed a couple times during it as well.
At what?
I'm an emotional man, Money.
I'm an emotional man when it comes to movies on an airplane. I have found that I am. I don't know why, but I am emotionally vulnerable when I'm stuck in that tin can at 30,000 feet, and I find the stupidest movies. I remember the worst ever was Ice Princesses.
Really? I had Finding Nemo.
Getting misty
Nemo,
during
like
Ice Princesses or something like that.
I don't know what Ice Princesses is.
It's a film that you would see on a flight from L.A. to Kansas City or something is what it was. I mean, it was, I don't know, some dad or mom, and the daughter's an ice skating champion, and she gets hurt, and she has to quit her career. And next thing you know, I'm like, it's horrible.
Now, that's ridiculous.
Yes, it is.
That's humiliating. All right, now the investigation has been canceled. You can't be this.
I'm honest. I'm an honest man. I put it out there.
Hey, I'm jumping on a flight. Speaking of which, I'm going to consume many movies in the next 24 hours because I'm jumping a plane as soon as we're done here. I'm flying to our nation's capital, and I'll be kibitzing with one Kirk Cousins about liking that, about liking this, that, and the other.
What?
Yeah, oh, yeah. You like
What's
that.
that?
Why do I like that? What are you talking about?
I know it's confusing. That's something that we're going to address.
I assume I'll like it.
You like that?
Yeah.
You like that?
Who's yelling
What is that?
What was that?
It's very confrontational. I don't understand why. But that's what I wanted to get to the bottom of with him is so I like it, or are you telling me that you like it but putting that on me?
Because there's no question mark at the end of that. It's a statement.
No, I know.
It's a statement. It wasn't a question.
And are there
the demand, in fact.
Like that?
Yeah. Demanding that you like it.
You like it.
I also aim to figure out what he doesn't like.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Wisconsin-based cheese products, I imagine, this week at least. So we'll figure that out.
Take him some curds.
Look for that on game day morning. That'll be available for you with Eisen and those fellas. All right, let's get to it. Not do you like that, but what do you love? And I start with you, Matt Money Smith, going into the wild card.
Okay, going into the wild card round, I'll tell you what I love. You mentioned you're hopping a bird. The birds can be, they're fine, whatever. They get you where you need to go in a few hours, and that's great. But I read a story right here in our own backyard. That big brain, the man whose big brain I appreciate more than any other big brains around, Elon Musk, is furthering
He's a champion.
This Hyperloop project, and all the Hyperloop teams are making their way to our fine city, the City of Angels, to put forth their pods that will go in these giant vacuum tubes and take us from the city of Los Angeles to San Francisco in 30 minutes, from the city of Los Angeles to Las Vegas in 20 minutes. Imagine, we finish the Dave Dameshek football program and we say, you know what? What do you say we just head up to San Francisco, grab a little lunch on one of those sourdough bowls right there on the pier, and then we'll just come on back in a couple hours. Can you imagine what life is going to be like with the Hyperloop, thanks to our man Elon Musk? That's what I'm loving.
How about that? Yeah, what we could do is, we could also say, like, hey, you know what? We should go try out Topeka McDonald's and get get one of those hash browns.
That's right.
Let's do that. Compare and contrast the McDonald's around America. Nay, the big blue marble overall. I like it, Money. I like where your head's at. And by the way, maybe we could accelerate the pace of the Dameshek show.
Oh, I see what you did there. Accelerate.
We could get the whole thing wrapped up in like 20 seconds, and then you could go about your day and go travel.
Hyperloop.
Do this in a Hyperloop.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Something like that. Oh, we did a plane cast.
Right.
Plane cast.
Hyperloop
cast.
Loop cast. I love it.
The problem is we don't have enough time. You wouldn't have done the intro by the time we'd be in San Francisco.
I am much more intrigued by this idea. And by the way, I also like the idea of singularity. And if we can just hang in and not get taken out by Benny Laden's proteges or by the ne'er-do-wells in this country.
Or the sun just sucking Jupiter into us. Just slam.
One of those asteroids or whatever.
Something's
as long as we can hang in for like 10, 20 more years, I really think we may be, and I'm not jiving about this, we may be the first generation to live
forever.
Forever.
Listen, computers can already approximate our intellect. It's the emotional aspect that they haven't figured out yet. But Elon Musk and guys like that, they'll figure it out in the next decade or two.
What if Brett Favre comes out of retirement 20 years from now because he's worked out that he can live forever?
I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about your brain. There will be a computer chip, and they'll send us out into space somewhere. We won't need the planet Earth. It'll be like the Matrix, but good. Not some diabolical forces operating.
Listen, maybe it already is.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I hope they had the good sense to let the Steelers win this Saturday night. Let's talk about that. But first of all, Handsome Hank, there's another football game in the AFC that'll be played first. Is that what you're loving right now?
It's funny you should ask that, Dave. Yes, it is. So a lot being made about this week about the Bengals are 24 years removed from their last playoff win. but I was surprised to learn that the Chiefs are 22 years removed from their last playoff.
How about that?
Wow.
The Chiefs have lost because they went to the playoffs a lot. You know, the Priest Holmes years, they were regularly
never
the best
won.
team. They never won. In that time, they've lost to Peyton Manning twice.
That's 1993?
Yep.
So that's the
Good
Joe
at math.
Montana team.
Well, hold on a
94,
second.
Yep.
Yeah.
So they've lost in that span to Peyton Manning twice, John Elway, Dan Marino, Jim Kelly, Andrew Luck, Joe Flacco, and Jim Harbaugh. So a pretty good array, interesting array of quarterbacks at least. But so it's been the last one was, you're exactly right, was Joe Montana, an ex-San Francisco 49ers quarterback.
And
They played against
the
Pittsburgh
Houston
Steelers.
Oilers.
how
Was the
about
team
that?
they beat.
Whoa!
Now the symmetry is an ex-San Francisco 49ers quarterback, Alex Smith,
How about
against
that?
the Houston Texans, leads the Chiefs to victory this weekend.
Can I add one more
How
little
about
layer
that?
to
Go for it.
Here's one more thing. What is, and I don't think this is a stretch to add this to your interesting little equation here. What's the X factor in this game? Who's the X factor? A man named-
Justin Houston.
Where's that game being played? The former Texans, named the Chiefs now, have Justin Houston playing the game against the Houston Texans.
Look.
You tell
To
me
me-
how we're not a computer
Yeah,
program, huh? You
exactly.
guys tell me how that's not the
Yeah,
case.
you think that's
Right? You think
Elon
that's just-
Musk
come
is
on,
trying
that's
to
not
put
random.
that together. Exactly.
the thing with Musk that I care?
I love his name.
I love Musk. Yeah.
Just being called Musk.
Oh, yeah.
And Elon. No one else is
You
called
can't
Elon,
screw
but-
that up.
And you emit that odor everywhere
Right.
you go.
Speaking of the Houston Texans, the merciless parents did their best to screw up potentially the baddest name in football history. And they kind of did. Whitney Merciless still is pretty good,
Yeah.
but they did their best at Whitney.
Yeah.
The thing I care less about with Musk is this travel to space jazz. What do I care? I don't know. I wouldn't spend 20. You couldn't pay me $5,000 to go to space, let alone get me to pay you $100,000
That's for you and
to
I.
go to
That's what Hank and
I-
I'll
yeah.
hop that. We'll
I'm
hop that
on that.
rocket. We'll hop that
You're
rocket.
kidding.
Come
What
on.
do I care? What do I
What?
care?
You don't want to go to space?
No,
you wouldn't
no.
want to do? To heck with your plane cast. How about a rocket
Yeah,
cast?
what about a rocket cast? I mean, you've just watched Star Wars. There's
If
nothing
Solo-
better than being
you know
in a
what?
ship watching another
How about a
bigger ship.
spacewalk cast?
All it is dark out there. What do I listen? If Solo and Chewbacca and I are hanging out in the Falcon for a couple of weeks and we're playing that game,
Chess game.
the CGI or the
CGI chess thing?
whatever thing, yeah, then I'm in. But I don't care. What do I need to see? What do I have to go out there and check out?
Well, the
Moon
Death-
rock.
They're
That's
rebuilding.
right.
They're having to rebuild the Death Star again. Like, wouldn't that be annoying if you were the Empire? You're just like,
Maybe.
where you the parts
Yeah,
for the
hey,
parts for that
It's a
must
future
be.
Sisyphus
Bill-
They
right
build
there.
them so quick.
Yeah, build a Death Star once and have it blown
Right.
up. Shame on you. But yeah.
But they now
But,
4 Death Stars in,
Won't get fooled again.
and then they're like, okay, back to hey guys, we're gonna have to do that again.
I like the planet Earth for all its
It's fine.
strengths and
Fine.
weaknesses. And some consider it a detriment, the great outdoors. Not Dameshek. Not when it comes to the game of football. I love living in Los Angeles. It's raining right now. It's pretty
Wonderful.
much the apocalypse
Beautiful.
to a lot of people here. And by the way, are the reservoirs full yet? Because then we can turn the rain off. But I do. I'm with you,
they're getting there.
Handsome, and Money. I'm with you guys. Nothing better than sitting in a bar all day. You know, bending
it's
the
raining
elbow,
outside.
watching the nasty weather outside.
I was supposed to frame a house today, but here we are.
Yeah.
Oh,
What
wait a
are you
second.
gonna do?
Yeah.
Wait a second. Not there's nothing better. There is one thing better. That's sitting in the elements, watching a football team. I dare say that the reason that fans love football a little bit more than the other teams that they root for, no matter what city you're talking about, well, very few exceptions, is football less popular than the other sports in a given town. I speculate that a major part of that is because there's a greater buy-in with you being in the stands when it's cold out.
Sure.
At a Bears game, at a Steelers game.
There's a camaraderie there.
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm experiencing this to some degree rather than being in the climate-controlled
Right.
digs.
We're going through something together.
That's right. And I think the Minnesota Vikings have a grand game. I bellyached. You can watch the Shek report. Go back and watch that if you care to. I bellyache about the Vikings willfully giving up that perennial home field advantage.
Minus 15.
But forget what the future holds. Let's just talk about the short term. It's minus 15.
Minus 15, they
Who-
say.
Here's the worst thing. Having to try and get in front of Marshawn Lynch or Adrian Peterson. There are no
Not
winners on
Take that
either
tackle.
defense there. Hey, yeah, go run into him. Don't let him. He's running full speed. Now you run full speed
Into
and hit into him. That
Oh.
would hurt.
You shatter.
Yeah.
I
Supposed
wouldn't
to
like
tackle
that.
with your fingers, and they're just frozen in place.
So what do I love? I love being out in those elements, and I'm going to love on Sunday watching this one.
I'll give each of you. You get to select one player that's going to go sleeveless from each team. Seattle and Minnesota. You select whom?
Cam Chancellor.
Go sleeveless for Seattle. Ooh,
Sleeveless in Seattle.
how about that? Just came up.
Michael Bennett, I think, will insist on those.
I don't think so. I think he's deep down a pragmatist.
I'm going Bobby Wagner.
Ooh,
Played his
that's
football at Utah State. You know, they're in Logan. He knows the elements. He's comfortable in the cold. I think Bobby Wagner's the
Tone
guy.
setter for the Vikings, definitely. Adrian Peterson will not be wearing sleeves.
Yeah.
I would like for Teddy B to come out even without the gloves.
No gloves.
I'm not using
no
the gloves
sleeves.
today.
Go back and listen to the podcast earlier in the week with Maurice, with MJD and Ike Taylor. Ike tells the tale. It is a fascinating little bit of psychology for what it was worth. I don't know if it was worth anything, but the Steelers had a rule in the cold. You couldn't wear sleeves.
It's the worst rule ever.
And they would just Vaseline their arms up
Yeah.
to add thickness to his skin, as he said. And apparently this would be intimidating. I don't know if it actually would be, but I guess if they bought it, that's what matters.
My Viking, Harrison Smith. That's who's going sleeveless out there. That'll be my prediction. Those two guys.
Okay.
You watch.
Let's write it down. Write it down, Black Tie.
Yeah, we'll revisit this some other time.
Speaking of being outdoors and Maurice Jones-Drew and Ike Taylor, Maurice and I went out to the mountain to see who could get, this is now the climb begins. 20 teams are gone, 12 remain. It's time to see who can ascend to the top, to the peak of Mount Lombardi. MJD and I took a little, neither one of us is mountain climbers by trade, but we saw.
No, really?
Yeah, we tried to see how far up the football mountain we could get here. Take a look at that.
Hi, hello, football fans. Dave Dameshek here, along with Maurice Jones-Drew. We're trying to climb to the top of the football mountain. How you doing, Maurice?
Shek, I ain't ready for this, man. You should have told me we were doing this. I
know.
might not have came.
It's cold out here.
It's unbelievable.
You know where else it's cold? The NFL. 20 teams have already tried and failed to get to the peak of Mount Lombardi. 12 remain. Here's the last team that tried. Hold on a second. Let me dig this up here. Poor Jets. They didn't make it. They're buried in the hillside. They're not going to get to the top of the mountain this year.
That's probably the only good thing Rex did all year.
Let's just keep climbing and seeing what else we can find here in front of the wild card round here. Wait, let's take a rest for a second. Hold on a second.
My back,
Let's
Shek.
start talking about the game that's going to be played in our nation's capital.
All right.
Packers, Skins. What do you think's going to happen there, Maurice?
You know, this is one of the tougher games, Shek. When you look at it, you think about Kirk Cousins, what he's done, and just on fire. I mean, lighting it up. The defense, the front seven, the defense playing okay. Man, they're on fire. But then you have the Green Bay Packers coming in, right?
You know what? I see a clue here. Uh-oh, this isn't good news for them. Look who I just found buried.
No.
Yeah, RG3's team.
Oh, man.
Well, I guess that's as far as they're getting in 2015, early 2016.
Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers are going to win this thing.
All right.
I got it.
I guess that's what we just found out here. Let's keep on climbing. See what else we find. Maurice.
Shek, do you think we're the only two people climbing this thing?
No. I mean, countless people have tried to get to the top of the football mountain.
Hey, who's that over there? Hanging.
Is that Chip?
It look like Chip Kelly. Hey, Chip.
That's
almost
too bad.
had it.
Yeah, that's
He
too
almost
bad.
had it, man.
You know what, Maurice? No offense, but neither one of us has actually ever reached the top of the football mountain.
None
If
taken.
only we had a Sherpa, someone who'd been to the top himself who could guide us on how to get there.
Yeah, down at the bottom of the mountain, they told me a call. They showed me a call that I could make. Should I make it?
Please do.
All right, we gotta stop. You ought to lay. Hee-hoo.
Hey, guys!
It's Ike Taylor!
How y'all doing? You know what? Chip got caught, so now he's running from the plug.
No!
Yes, yes, totally. But look, if you would like to go 40 degrees longitude left, 60 degrees latitude, you might have a chance.
Well, you have been to the top of the football mountain, not once, but twice.
Correct.
Ike, you know what it takes. Let's get serious about things for a second here. Your old team, the Pittsburgh Steelers, in Cincinnati. What's going to happen there?
I don't know. I will get back to y'all later.
Oh, all right. Well, Maurice, thanks
See
for
you.
the help, I guess.
See you in a jiffy.
All right, there you go. Ike Taylor.
Oh, my
Words of
goodness.
wisdom.
Oh, my goodness.
What do you think happens, Bengals and Steelers?
You know, I like Pittsburgh. They already beat them up there. No Andy Dalton. A.J. McCarron's first time under pressure. Pittsburgh's defense has been playing well. I really think they got a great chance.
Uh-oh, I just found the clue. This isn't going to make some people happy.
What?
Yep. That's it for the Bengals.
Another
Sorry,
one and
AJ.
done.
AJ and AJ. 3 AJs on that team.
Are there? Who's the third one?
Hawk.
Oh, man, that's right.
That's right. Sorry. Better luck next year, orange and black. I guess we found out once again who is the true king of the AFC North. Let's keep on climbing it. Whew. All right, next up. It's going to be a frigid affair. Can't imagine it's going to be much colder than
Up here,
what
huh?
we got going here, but the Seattle Seahawks in the Twin Cities. Let's stop and talk about this for a second. What do you think? 2 straight trips for Seattle, is that it, or is there a third one in order here?
I think there's a third one in order. Once you go to a place and whip a team the way they did, it's mentally tough for another team to get up. I get it's the playoffs, and they beat the Green Bay Packers, but it's going to be a dogfight.
All right,
And as Ike Taylor likes to say, in the playoffs, you got to have dogs for that dogfight.
Yeah, I remember that Ike Taylor. He was really wise.
Yeah, he was.
talked to us a while back. Well, I found a clue. Oh, let me get there. Oh, no. Yeah.
That's my dog.
You were right, though. The Seahawks survive. The Vikings remain buried here for another year. Sorry, Vikes.
Man,
Sorry, AP.
need tough guys.
All right, one more game to go here. Let's see if we can find any clues on who's going to win the last wild card game upcoming here, Maurice. All right, let's stop for a second. It's the former Texans, now named the Chiefs, against the Houston Texans. What do you think happens in this one?
Oh, this is the battle for the ages. Both defenses playing well. Offenses are they're okay. Both have really good wide receivers. But I think, oh my gosh, I think the Kansas City Chiefs, man, they got a chance.
You think
they got
the
a
Chiefs
chance
are going to win?
They got a chance to win. I don't know, though.
I got a clue right here. Look at this. Ugh. Yeah, you were right. Sorry, home game notwithstanding, J.J. Watt and company are going to lose this one. Hey, I feel like, is there a
little
goat
wobbly.
or something pulling me out there?
Someone's pulling me.
I don't know. It's a-
What's going on?
Oh, yeah. Hey,
Ike Taylor's back.
hey,
Yeah.
hey, man. Y'all gotta help me out with a rope. Golly.
I tell you
Hey,
what, man.
this is dangerous.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Somebody gotta do it.
It's not a safe thing trying to get to the top of the football mountain, Ike Taylor.
Yeah, with no rope. Try that.
No help.
And no help. But the Texans, they're looking pretty good.
Oh, the Texans are going to win.
They're looking legit.
Legit.
Yeah,
Oh, we better bury that
Okay.
Chiefs. You brought a Chiefs helmet with you, I see.
I'm out. I see y'all in a jiffy.
There he goes.
Okay.
Ike Taylor. All right, so it sounds like I guess we figured out what's going to happen in the wild card round, but 2 more rounds to wait to see who's going to get to the top of the mountain. Trying to look way up there and
Shek,
see.
I can't even see that far.
Yeah, I
got
can't make
LASIX.
out who's going to wind up at the very top there. It's still too far away. All right, let's keep on climbing. Mount Lombardi. We'll talk to you next week, everybody.
My goodness, the stupidity keeps on ascending.
I don't know who's Adam West and who's Burt Ward in that particular video,
I think you saw who was taller.
Yeah, I think you're right. I would, however, have liked maybe a little Price is Right, sort of. Right?
Did a little yodeling.
Yeah, a little
there.
bit.
Yeah, that wasn't too
A little
bad.
bit.
Yeah, I hope you also were distracted by all the other foolishness so you couldn't notice the egregious amount of sweating I was doing. Oh, but why?
Climbing a mountain.
That's producer Keith
Climbing a
Black
mountain.
saying, well, you want people to buy this, right?
Right.
You have to put on winter coats like you're climbing a mountain. I said, all right, we'll do it. And I think
then it
Get a
came.
little sweaty in that case.
boy, I think I shed about 27 pounds.
You should have done it sleeveless. People would have
Not a bad
respected
idea.
you more.
Hey, all right, the big moment is here. Before we make our picks, let's talk to our main man here. Something he also was robbed of a 2015 Shecky Award. It's
By you.
A Hawk.
I have a fiance waiting for me at a hotel who's going to be crushed when he finds out what I did.
So you make love to me and then you go back to your husband?
Haven't you been paying attention to anything that's been happening these past few days?
I guess not. I guess I must have misread all those signals. I want all of you forever. You and me, every day.
I have to go. But before I do, give me a kiss.
Well, well, well. Look who's back wearing the exact same clothing he was wearing the last time.
I just noticed that. It's the same jacket.
You didn't want to jinx anything. That went so well. You said, "Well, I'm not going to change what ain't broke here." right?
You're right. When you reenact a scene from The Notebook, you might as well wear the same outfit. I thought we were doing it again, so I felt like that was my costume.
By the way, I legitimately wondered, and by the way, welcome to our favorite of all, A.J. Hawk here, even in front of a big-time game. I think Hawk knows where I come down in my heart on the football game, but that's just 3 hours. You know, you and me are going to live on past that, right?
Exactly, yeah, I understand. I respect your passion for the Steelers and all things Pittsburgh.
But did you get, for doing that, the reenactment of The Notebook? I got some cross letters from Rachel McAdams on that saying you stole my signature role, and A.J. Hawk is now the go-to if that movie ever gets remade. But did your teammates give you any business? Did anyone on the Bengals see that?
Just recently, actually, a couple young guys mentioned it to me. They said, "Man, I saw you like." Most of them haven't seen the movie, so they said, I saw you like doing this weird like movie thing where you were reading to this guy and then you tried to give him like a fake kiss on screen. It was really weird. And I was like, oh yeah, it's Dameshek, man. It was good. That was pretty solid acting, I felt like.
I thought you might get some heat for doing that. By the way, before I have football talk, congratulations, fella. You're a father once again, huh?
Thank you. Yes, New Year's Eve we had our third child, so now I have a girl and 2 little boys, and it's a busy household for sure.
Yeah, I imagine so, but what fun around the holidays now. So December 31st for all of time. The new little one is now going to have, that's a kind of a cool birthday to have there. But muzzle tov to you on that one. But now amidst all the stuff happening at home, new baby and all that, you're trying to get ready for the big football game, your last one of the season, obviously. Is that how you feel? Is that the buzz around the locker room?
That's not the buzz around the locker room. I mean, I feel like should I file a complaint to producer Black Tie for the atmosphere you create on this interview?
You can file that. This interview is now under protest. I see where you're coming from, Hawk. What is the vibe? How much, because the last time you played the Steelers, there was all sorts of nonsense going on with Vontaze Burfict and everybody else. What is the vibe? How much talk has there been about how nasty the rivalry is?
I mean, we don't have to talk about it too much, I think. Obviously, last time we played, they came into our house and they beat us, and we give them credit for that. And, yeah, there was a lot of stuff going on, right at the whistle, sometimes after the whistle. But I don't think that's going to be a factor in this game. I think both teams know that we're going to be watched really closely from the refs and from the league, and everyone, I'm sure, has been warned. So I don't think that's going to have really any impact on this game. It's not something that we're sitting there focusing on right now.
I can't keep up with you in an X's and O's conversation anyway, but if you want to, between you and me, I feel like my eyeballs tell me that you guys love leaving those 2 safeties deep to tempt number 7 into throwing the deep ball, and you and your linebacker pals are now starting to drop into, or the league over is trying to bait Roethlisberger, just cloud his line of sight, right? Is that what the plan is for Saturday night?
I mean, is it just, do people
It's
just bait Ben Roethlisberger? They don't bait any other quarterback?
I don't know, but I feel like that the idea is stop blitzing him and just settle back and put as many bodies back there with all those pass catchers as Pittsburgh has.
I mean, I don't know. Obviously, they have a ton of talent everywhere you look. So I think for any defense, your goal is to try to give them multiple looks and try to keep a quarterback guessing where you're going to be. And, if you are blitzing or if you're dropping 8, no matter what you're going to do. So it's always kind of a cat and mouse game. And that's why the offensive and defensive coordinators are always kind of scheming against each other. And it's a pretty fluid thing as the game goes.
I liked seeing you get an interception a few weeks ago. I tweeted at you for that. I celebrated the fact. Or no, wait.
You mean a sack? Yeah.
A sack, I mean, you got the big sack there. Yeah, I was very happy to see that. It was in a big moment, too. Are you, though, where do you rank yourself? So that was a big moment for A.J. Hawk. Where do you rank yourself among the Bengals AJs?
Well, I would say I'm a solid 3rd out of 3.
You do that? You think so?
I mean, yeah, think about it. I mean, I think, no, like, if you want, it depends what we're doing. When it comes to, like, what the Bengals are doing at the moment, yeah, I mean, A.J. Green, who I think is arguably the best receiver in the league, and then A.J. McCarron, who's our starting quarterback right now, obviously, why wouldn't those 2 guys got to be in front of me? And I I respect that, and I appreciate that. So, yeah, I like it. I like having a couple other AJs around. It feels good.
Well, if it's a tattoo competition, you're a distant third. Everybody takes a backseat to A.J. McCarron right now.
You're right. He has some solid chess pieces that are on there, I feel like.
Did you know about those before he was a Bengal, or was that a surprise the first time he took a shirt off?
I don't think I knew. Maybe actually someone might have said something to me, or I don't know. Is there pictures of him out from when he was in college, maybe?
Yeah, I had no idea.
I think maybe someone said something to me before I got here. So, yeah, it was, I guess it was a bit of a surprise. It's like isn't it like Kevin Durant, doesn't he have like his whole back filled with tattoos?
Oh, I don't know about that, yeah.
I think
it is
you can't
true,
see it in his, you can't see it in with his uniform on, but then every once in a while he shows it off, I guess. So, yeah, that's kind of what AJ's got going. Hey, man, it couldn't have felt good to be getting your chest tattooed, I imagine. So, yeah, give him credit.
Look at you, the ultimate teammate. Hawk, I just wanted to visit with you. I want to wish you well in this one. It will be the silver lining if things don't work out for the Steelers. I will be rooting to see A.J. Hawk in Santa Clara, California. Then again, either way, it's a win-win for me in a weird way, thanks to you, A.J. Hawk. Thanks for the time, pal. Are you going to wear sleeves in the game?
I will not. I do not wear sleeves in games. It doesn't help, man. A little thin, long-sleeve shirt's not going to do anything for me. So, no, I don't wear sleeves in games.
It's not going to be terribly cold either, so.
No, I think it's going to be all right. So I'll be fine. You got to keep your little hands and feet warm. That's all you got to do, man. You'll feel great.
All right, if you need to, like you told us, you used to put your helmet in the sauna or whatever in Green Bay. So if you have to do that on Saturday night. Hawk, muzzle tov on the new addition to the Hawk clan, and good luck on Saturday night. You need it, fella. Hey, fist bump. You know what? To show that we have peace no matter what happens.
Wherever. There we are.
See? Brothers.
Boom.
There we go. The great
Gotcha.
A.J. Hawk. Go get him, fella. Just don't give him too much. You know what I mean? Do well. I want you to do well, but not too well. You understand where I'm coming from.
I understand. Yeah, I understand. Like I said, I respect your passion for Pittsburgh.
All right. And then, on Monday you can fly out here and we'll hang out and we'll talk about the teams that are still left in the playoffs. We'll chop it all up.
We'll do this again. Let's do this again.
All right. I'm down for that either way. Hey, everybody. There he is. The best in the business, as nice a fella as there is in pro football. A.J. Hawk. Oh, and don't forget to check out the Hawkcast. Always dynamite stuff. It transcends just pigskin talk. He talks to scientists and all that kind of jazz. Go check that out because it's dynamite
legendary broadcasters, Dave Dameshek.
That's right. I was on there once. Nice hair, by the way, Hawk. That's intimidating. Don't let the Steelers get a load of that, or they'll be dead before the game even starts. All right, A.J. Hawk, everybody. All right, thanks, Hawk. And as you can see, Matt Money Smith is still here. If you're watching us on YouTube,
was asked to leave. Apparently, I can't take part in interviews.
Yeah. That's why you didn't get the award.
Yes. A.J. Hawk, he'd just be befuddled by 3 voices in his ear instead of 2.
You're full of Cabernet. I didn't want you embarrassing me or us
at least,
in front of our friend Hawk.
At least you got the Gold Star versus Skyline question in for me, and I certainly appreciate that, Dave Dameshek.
Yeah, I did.
In the future.
Anyway. All right, let's get to it here now. It is time for the playoff edition.
Red Challenge Flag Picks.
Let's get into it, fellas. Let's do it. And we will start off with, and by the way, playoff challenge, sign up for that. We are going to set up a league here. Maybe if we have time on the back end here,
yeah.
Handsome, you and me can go through it, and everybody, Black Tie and the Goth Kid and everybody else can jump in on this league money and sign up for that. NFL.com is, how do you do it now? That's too clunky. I can't.
Go to NFL.com/playoff challenge.
Right. Why that thing? Playoffchallenge.fantasy.nfl.
It all works.
That looks ridiculous.
It all works.
It's too much. All right. Anyway, so do that and join our league. DDFP is how you'll find that. Let's get to it, fellas, and we'll start with the one that we were just talking about. Cincinnati hosting the Pittsburgh Steelers. Handsome Hank, choose.
Since you gave me that 20 earlier, I'm saying Steelers.
Well, that settles that. Yeah, it's Steelers. Cincinnati needs to prove they can win a playoff game.
I don't like that confidence. Let's not get overconfident.
I like the way
America.
A.J. McCarron's looked. I just don't know if I like the way A.J. McCarron's
right.
going to look in the face of pressure,
Yeah.
if things are unraveling a little bit. You know, we saw what happened to him in that Fiesta Bowl against Oklahoma when things got a little bit sideways. So, I'm gonna lean Steelers with all those offensive weapons.
I wonder if 14 might pull a Peyton and come off the bench here. If he's on the sidelines, dressed up.
Why not? I mean,
Out of the cast.
if they get behind, why not?
Yeah, that sounds weird. And the Marv Lewis era. I mean, it continues to not have a playoff victory on there. So
6
let's
he's
see what-
lost.
They caught a bad break, though. I mean, they caught a bad break with the Jets losing and the Steelers getting in.
I disagree. I don't know that the Jets are any easier on them. And there is a little. If you believe in the copycat league, of late, you have noticed that what defenses are doing, they're keeping those safeties deep to tempt Roethlisberger with the deep balls. And then they're also dropping their linebackers into the flat to cloud his line of sight. You're not blitzing him isn't terribly effective anyway. And he's taking the bait over and over again. He's thrown some terrible picks there. So I'm fascinated.
Good defense. It's good. Geno Atkins pushing up the middle there. Dunlap coming off the edge. I mean, it is. Adam Jones has had a good year. I mean, that defense wildly underrated, not talked about nearly enough.
You are absolutely right. That is a loaded team. I'm going to take the Steelers because I have to.
You don't have to.
You don't have to.
You really
I
don't
pick
have
against
to.
the
Paid
Steelers.
me to do it.
All
so now you
season
don't
long,
have
I've
to.
picked against the Steelers when I thought it was the right thing to do. And you know what? I made a pick based purely on my desire. Last week in Buffalo, I took the Bills, and that worked out. I'll take the Steelers. I don't know. I guess
It'd be pretty great to vanquish that ghost with the Steelers. If you're the Cincinnati Bengals.
I hear
division foe, a foe that's put it on you repeatedly.
7 is great. 7 is greater than 5, and that we're in the playoffs now. This is one of the all-time great QBs. He's delivered on more than one occasion, but it has been a while. Let's see if Roethlisberger can get it done here in a big spot. At the very least, I will feel like, as a Steelers fan, if they can go into Cincinnati and knock off the AFC champ again, just like they did in '05, it will remind everybody who's boss. And then it's house money after that. I don't care what happens.
You don't care? Yeah, you do.
Although if they play Peyton Manning and can end Peyton's career, that might also be funny too. Next up, the Kansas
funny's
City.
the right word. I don't know if funny's
Funny
the
may
appropriate
not
word.
be,
Not right. Intriguing.
There you go. Interesting.
I don't know.
Interesting, yeah.
Next up, the Kansas City Chiefs at the Houston Texans. Matt Money Smith, choose.
I go 11 wins in a row. That's what I'm going to do. 11 wins in a row. Hard to pick against the Chiefs. They had their issues, and I called a couple of their games this year, and they said the big turning point for the Chiefs, they finally found an offensive line. They found a unit that wasn't necessarily the high draft picks. It wasn't the big names. It was 5 guys that managed to coalesce, come together, protect Alex Smith, and I love watching Alex Smith remind me of what he was doing at Utah under Urban Meyer, running around, using that athleticism. He has a legitimate number 1 receiver in Macklin now. I love Sharkhandrick West. I think you're going to see some Spencer Ware in there at the goal line, those hard-running LSU backs. And it just – I'm not going to be surprised if this is the team that makes the Super Bowl. I mean, that's with a healthy Justin Houston or however healthy he may be. This, to me, is the team going into the playoffs to keep an eye on.
Money decided not to observe
The rules
long-standing
of
Red Challenge
the Red Challenge flag rules.
pick segment.
Exactly.
You're supposed to-
Good luck throwing a red flag on that one. You want to throw the flag now?
Go ahead and do it if you
I don't
want
know
to,
because
I
because
forgot.
I
I'm just
also
supposed to
think
say
the
Chiefs.
I also think I gave my
Can we
reason
rewind?
earlier.
Chiefs.
Chiefs, good one. I'm not gonna. They won't be playing in red. I don't think.
Can't you
And
raise
I'm-
your game and be contentious
All
for
white.
the playoffs?
I've already
Handsome?
said who am I loving? I said to you that the Chiefs are going to win. How do you want me to change my mind? 30
Well, I ain't
minutes later? I'm
changing
not
my
Dave
pick now.
Dameshek.
In August, I said the Chiefs are going to the Super Bowl. I'm not going to flip now.
That's I hate that more than anything. Listen, my preseason pick. My preseason pick was Dodgers versus Royals. I'm not going to change that now.
Right.
Really, the whole team is hurt. I mean, you're more than welcome to change it from.
I do agree with you about that in broad strokes, but listen, I'm
Why would
riding
you
that
at this
one.
point? No. you're right.
Seahawks and Chiefs was my preseason pick. I'm going to own that one until one or both get eliminated. That would be savvy on both parts. And that's not that was a little bit of an outside the box pick there to take the Chiefs.
I'm waiting for the analyst to say, listen, both of the teams I picked in the preseason are on their way to the
Lousy.
Super Bowl. Stupidest pick ever. I'm changing everything. I'm going
with you
Texans.
on the Chiefs, but they do need for them to make a Super Bowl run legitimately. They will need Justin Houston to show up and be a factor against the likes of Tom Brady.
But money's right. They're the best team in the AFC.
That's right.
They don't maybe have the best individual parts, but they're the best.
And I'll remind you just one last time before I remind you next week. Alex Smith was not one, just one of those 2 Kyle Williams fumbles in the stick against the Giants from getting to a Super Bowl. It's not like, well, Alex Smith isn't taking anybody. Well, he pretty much already
did. 2 special teams turnovers.
All right, now let's move on to the Seahawks up in the Twin Cities. But before we make our picks here, you'll notice there's someone new in Matt Money Smith's seat. Listen, I don't want to be a jerk or anything, but you know what? The rules are the rules, and the Red Challenge Flag picks are set in stone. You say your team name, and then you let the other person decide if he wants to throw the Red Challenge Flag. Matt Money Smith violated those rules one too many times. He was shown the door. Now producer Matt Gothard, the Goth Kid, has taken his place. No drop-off in quality, though, I can assure you. Right, Gothard?
Absolutely not. I'm here to make you proud.
All right, let's see. We'll decide right now. And he's still trying to overcome the emotional scars laid upon him by the Iowa Hawkeyes and the Michigan State Spartans.
That was horrible.
In college football. But we're talking pro
Yeah, I'd rather not talk about
it. Hard to take.
Throw that. That's ugly to look at. Throw the strap, the cord behind your shoulder there. There you go, Goth Kid. It's funny. Somehow you're thin enough that you can still see the cord coming either side of your body there. Your slight torso. All right, Seahawks, Vikings, Gothard. Choose.
I'm going to go Vikings.
Well done.
Very good. You're not going to get kicked out. Now, the Vikings this year, a little nugget for you. I feel like I've come ready with nuggets today. The Vikings have played
not as good as Chicken McNuggets
all day. The Vikings have played 3 teams this year twice, right? And they've won the rematch on all 3 occasions. Here they come playing the Seahawks, who, I don't know if you remember, beat them early in the season.
Certainly.
And they're not going to win that game. Did you just pick the Vikings?
I did.
Have this. The Seahawks are going to win this game. Not just to win it, they're going to kill them.
Sparty, the Hawkeyes, and now a red challenge flag to the face. Tough week, tough week. Yeah, it's got to be the Seahawks here. The one caveat is that, and Marcus Grant said it on our earlier podcast this week, is, the Seahawks run, not coincidentally, has come with all home games. The last 2 Super Bowls, the road to the Super Bowl in the NFC has gone through Seattle. Not this time, though. In order for them to get to the Super Bowl, 3 road victories are the requirement here. It starts in a tough environment. I mean, that's going to be really a delightful game. If you don't have a rooting interest, which obviously I don't, I can't wait for this one to see. I mean, this is going to be nasty.
This is fun.
Minus 15 degrees. Oh, it's glorious.
Physical. It's going to be that kind of game.
Yeah, I can't wait for
Throwback
this one.
type.
I'm going to take the Seahawks, though, here. And the wild card is, obviously.
The wild card is this weekend, Dave.
Yeah, well, yeah, you're right about that. But the personification of wild card, Teddy B. We don't know what he's going to do. We haven't seen him in a playoff game, obviously. He did rise to the occasion for what it's worth in Lambeau last Sunday night, but this is a different matter entirely. That defense for the Seahawks looked dandy against the Arizona Cardinals. I expect them to again.
Teddy Bridgewater seems to me, he seems to have got a part. Well, everyone's agreed and anointed him as like, yeah, he's pretty good. He's fine. He's he doesn't do anything.
Not as good as his classmates Blake Bortles or Derek Carr.
Exactly, but he doesn't do terrible things.
Not as bad as Johnny Football off the field.
He's never done. He still doesn't have a signature moment in the NFL, and I think for the Vikings to win this game, we need to come out of the weekend going, wow, did you see that thing that Teddy did? Because we know what Adrian Peterson's going to do. We know that defense is pretty good, but I feel like this is Teddy Bridgewater's chance to sort of get on the map a little bit and do something that people are going to really start talking about.
There are people out there. We saw Maurice do it up on the mountaintop there taking the Vikings, and now we hear the Goth Kid do it as well. But I got to roll with what I've already seen. Not to be a curmudgeon, but you got to show me at first, Vikings, before I start really getting behind that when you're going up against the team that's represented the NFC the last 2 seasons there, right?
I mean, I think one thing that we haven't seen, which will be interesting, is Marshawn Lynch. Like how he comes back. Will he be as big of an impact as everybody wants him to be? I mean, for me, that's the unknown, which is why I picked the Vikings, because I think they've got everybody that they've been playing with. I mean, I'll roll the dice.
Gothard's ample shoulders cannot restrain that cord.
Oh, my God.
Up over your shoulders there. All right, last one. Let's get to it. From our nation's capital, the Packers really limping in to face Kirk Cousins and company here. You like that one, Handsome, or do you like the visitors here?
I am picking the Packers for this one.
Gothard? Oh!
You missed!
I wanted to
Dainty
How did you do
throw.
that?
I tried.
How did you miss? We're less than a foot
left
away.
hand. It's the left hand. I'm right-handed, you know.
That's ridiculous. That's the worst thing I've seen on.
Oh,
He missed again!
What are you doing?
Now you
Oh,
got to
man.
go left hand. Get
Come
some
on, do it.
dignity.
Here, look. Do you want me to get a little closer? Congratulations.
that felt good.
There you go.
Wow, that was grim. I don't know how much I can put in
Well, if
stock.
you're picking the Redskins and he throws it like that, then they're in big trouble.
Well, good thing I'm not quarterback for the
Right.
Redskins. My man Kirk Cousins from Michigan State is, and I'm thinking that after this beating that I took this weekend, that Michigan State could only do so much worse. You know, so I'm thinking
Ah.
Kirk Cousins will come through. a little bit of redemption here for the Spartans. That's why I picked him.
I'm going to go exactly against what I just said about Teddy Bridgewater and the Vikings have to show it once before I'll buy it. I'm going to roll with Cousins and company here. That I just matchup wise, and Taylor makes some great points. First of all, not just about this game, but about the Texans and the way that defense is playing, and that could really in matchups, and that's what it's about, as they say. The matchups, the styles make the matchups, and the Texans defense playing the way it does could really be the kryptonite for what that Chiefs offense has been doing. And so it might be with this Packers defense, the strength perhaps being in the secondary there. But I still don't think, when you consider, again, it's kind of come out of nowhere, too. I think the football world is starting to finally acknowledge, wait a second, when Deshaun Jackson and Jordan Reed and Pierre Garçon are all healthy, egad. Well, I mean, people swoon over the Pittsburgh Steelers' weapons, but my goodness, Cousins has a lot to look for when he drops back. And, by the way, for the tepid way the season began for him and our perception of him, and wow, really, Jay Gruden's going to roll with him over RG3 and all that, the fact is that arm is live. He's dropping back and he's getting rid of it fast. I think they're going to put up points. I also think the Packers are going to put up a lot of points. Shootout to close out the wild card weekend, but I say the home team wins this one.
The interesting thing about Cousins, and maybe you can mention this in when you speak to him, is since he shouted, "You like that? You like that?" at people.
Oh, that wasn't very.
Sorry. What he was known for at the beginning of the season, I think the reason people had question marks around him is he was just as capable, because he makes some great throws, but he's just as capable of making like a boneheaded play. Since he shouted that, he's thrown 23 touchdowns to 3 interceptions. He's not making mistakes.
Wow, I do like that, and I will bring that up to
Do.
him. The team is 6-3. Since he made that proclamation that you like that, or asked the question, I don't know. I can't. I still
It's a
can't.
declaration.
It's a declaration.
Yes.
Once he made that declaration, they did go on to lose 3 of the next 5.
Right.
But that maybe the rest of the team hadn't figured out what magic
What to like.
that meant yet. Right.
Yeah.
Once they did figure it out, now we all seem to like this team. I think they're going to deliver here in a shootout, but then again, we're talking about Aaron Rodgers, so certainly they have a puncher's chance.
I
That offensive
feel
line's
like
been
wildcard weekend, if you went back and look, I've done no research into this, but if you went back and look, I've gone for the teams that I believe have the experience of playing in the playoffs, and I do think that there's something to that.
I hear your noise on that one. Last thing, Gothard, give us a you like that.
Are you like that?
Oh, no. Try it
Come
again.
Oh man.
Try again.
Do it. Use it. Bring everything that you've got.
You like that?
That was exactly the same as before.
Well, it's the same voice.
That was the
Coming
that
from
was
the
that
same
was
person.
the verbal
Yeah,
equivalent of
this.
throwing a red challenge flag and missing.
You like that? It's the same thing.
All right. Everybody behind the glass. I want everybody
Thank
to do
you.
it on the count of 3. Ready? 1, 2, 3, go.
Wow, you
Sounded
guys
just
nailed
like
it.
And all your voices come together as one. You see what we can
Yeah.
accomplish? That's
Put
a
me
good
to
message.
shame.
Hey, thanks to Matt Money Smith for joining us here. He had to run out, of course. Thanks to his replacement, the Goth kid, still struggling to throw with accuracy and to get the
That was a
dreaded. Can't get a cord to stay behind you. That's it. We got to get you in the weight room or
Right.
something, man. We'll hold the muscle. We'll hold that thing back there a little bit.
We'll go together.
That I don't like. That I don't care for.
I love it.
See, we brought it all
I like that.
Like it. See what we're loving. It's all there. I'm loving the wild card round. We'll be back to break down what we saw for you after and get you ready for the divisional round. And, of course, thanks again to our pal, AJ Hawk. Best there is. Nicest fellow around. So good luck to him. I hope everybody stays healthy and gets to sit around and watch the frigid games and enjoy and hope your team wins unless they're playing my team. Gothard, Handsome Hank, Black Tie, everybody else. We'll be back after the wild card round.
So let me show you how you're supposed to
Thin
throw it.
slice of heaven, everybody. Go ahead.
Okay, so you hold it like this, and then you go.
Find out more on the next DDFP.